Hello guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. It's been like 2 weeks since I filmed anything. Honestly, my mental health has kind of been in the crapper and I haven't really felt like filming anything. But I'm back and we're going to talk about some things, and this is just kind of thoughts I wanted to get off my chest and random stuff I wanted to talk about, obviously relating to K-pop. I bring all this up just because some of these are unpopular opinions, some of these are just like things that have happened that have just got me thinking. And overall, this is just shit I want to get off my chest that I feel like might be somewhat controversial or people might kind of hate me for. So, just so you know, the things I'm going to be talking about are EXO and SHINee and disbandment, some interesting song opinions, Red Velvet being better than Blackpink, Jungkook and Jimin's vocals, Suga deserving the main rapper position, Blackpink's line distribution, SM being shit, and Seungri. Just Seungri. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into this. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about is, I was seeing a TikTok earlier today. So, this was a prediction. So, this is obviously not true. This is just someone's prediction. That SM will dissolve a group next year. Okay? So, everyone in the comments kept saying, you know, maybe Super Junior, maybe TVXQ, right? Okay. Alright, so, you know, SNSD, FX, which honestly they're as good as disbanded anyway, so I'm not really sure why people bring them up still. Not saying that people shouldn't bring up FX, because FX have a fantastic discography. You should obviously bring them up in that context because their music is absolutely amazing. However, you know, saying they're going to disband or bringing them up in a context of are they going to come back? No, they're not. They're pretty much disbanded. However, one of the groups I saw getting brought up a lot was SHINee, which really interested me. That people were thinking that SHINee would disband. And this is my honest opinion. I'm going to be getting into this just kind of right now. And honestly, this is my honest opinion, and this is just a prediction. This is not a fact. However, I actually think, and this is a prediction again, and I am aware that EXO is a younger group. They're a newer group. We have SHINee, which is a 12-year-old group, and EXO, which is a 8-year-old group. I'm sorry, I can't do math. Is an 8-year-old group, okay? So, yes, EXO survived the 7-year thing and, you know, all that, okay? So, right? However, and this is just my prediction in my opinion, a lot of the people saying SHINee would disband or no, I don't want them to disband. I don't really think they're going to disband. And I'm not saying it's without the realm of possibility. It could happen. However, I think EXO is way more likely to disband first. And this might be really unpopular opinion. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, myself included. I don't want them to disband either. However, something about EXO just makes me really uncomfortable. The whole situation, I just don't think they're going to stay together for as much longer. And I just feel like, first of all, the members are, you know, getting their own kind of lives and focusing on solo careers a lot. Obviously, Bacon and Kai are in Super M now, and I know Taemin is also in Super M, so you could make that argument for SHINee. However, I'll get into that in a minute. Not only that, but I should probably mention that I already mentioned Bacon and Kai, but also, you know, solo careers, and not only that, but of course, Chen just had a baby. His family just had a baby. Honestly, congratulations to him and his family. I hope they are healthy and well. But I will say that that doesn't mean he can't be in the group anymore, obviously, but I just feel like he's going to be more busy. Obviously, Lay is dealing with Lay things, and obviously right now, Zoomin and Dio are in the military, which is fine, and they will be back eventually, but then other members will have to go, and Bacon will have to enlist soon, which is unfortunate. However, so I'm not really sure how Super M is going to work once Bacon enlists. That's going to be interesting. So we won't even have Super M. Unless Super M is a flexible group. That's possible. They may choose another person to be in Super M. And the reason I bring this up is because if people are using Super M as an excuse for why a group can't disband, Super M can't really do much because Bacon has to enlist soon, and it's just how it has to happen. And, again, I don't know how SM is going to handle Super M. And yes, Taemin has to enlist sooner or later in like a couple years, you know. And the reason I bring this up is because when it comes back to SHINee, there's already a plan for a comeback. When, obviously, Minho and Key being the youngest two members, outside of Taemin, obviously, who the youngest two members who are in the military right now, when they two get back. Onu's coming back in about, I think, like 78 days. He's going to be back very soon. So I know it's not very soon, but in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty soon. A couple months. So he will be back soon, and then after that, it will be Minho and Ki, and they will all be back from the military. And I think they will be getting in a comeback and probably an album before Taemin leaves. And I know this because they're already promoted. The whole Shiny's Back 2020 thing, that's like a thing that's already getting promoted. So that's going to happen. I'm fairly sure that that is going to happen. Now, I bring this up because and I could go into a whole conversation about my actual feelings about this, about the comeback, or the fact that there is a comeback, or my actual feelings about whether or not they're going to disband, whether or not they should disband, which honestly I don't think is my job to say. That's not my business, whether or not they disband. My only caveat is if they want to disband, they should disband. I don't think SM should force them, you know what I'm saying, force them to stay. However, if they want to disband, I mean, if they want to stay together and have a comeback, that's totally fucking valid and fine. I have nothing against that. I have nothing against them having a comeback. I want to be very clear on that. Even in 2020, I have nothing against SHINee having a comeback. The only thing is that I just don't see, I could see them going on another long hiatus, and yes, all the members do have solo material at this point. Even Minho released a single, so they can all have solo careers, and obviously Taemin is working with Supreme, and Taemin will have to enlist, you know, in a couple years, and I don't know if the, other three members will end up continuing to promote, or if they will just take a break and work on solo projects while Taemin is gone, and then have another comeback when he gets back. But I just don't really see them breaking up anytime soon. They just seem to have like a really strong bond, you know, kind of like BTS a little bit, but BTS is a whole different situation. And I'll be getting to, I'm not even going to talk about BTS enlistment because I have enough fucking concerns and anxieties about that. I'm not even going to get into that right now. And I've talked about it before. If Big Hit mishandles their enlistment, they're fucked. But what I have said is that SHINee, they're a really close group. I just get like a vibe that they're a closer group than EXO. I'm not saying EXO isn't a close group. Of course they are. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm not saying EXO don't care about each other. I'm not saying they don't care about, you know, whatever. But I just don't get the same vibe. Obviously, SHINee have been able to stay together and still have successful solo careers. And I'm not saying EXO can't do the same thing, but I just get the vibe with everything going on of late, with all the enlistments, with all the blah, blah, blah. And I just don't get this dynamic from EXO, that they're like this unbreakable group, where I have the same kind of feeling I have about SHINee. And EXO, I just don't really see them sticking together. I'm not saying they won't be friends, or they won't still have solo projects, or that some of the subunits might not even, you know, they might still promote together sometimes, but I just don't see EXO as a whole ass unit sticking together for that long. And it's unfortunate, and I don't want this to happen, and I'm not saying 1000% this will happen, but it's just kind of how I feel. It kind of makes me wonder. So, basically the unpopular opinion is that EXO will disband before SHINee. That is my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that a group like Super Junior or TVXQ or an older group like that is, you know, they could disband before either of them, obviously. And somebody was like, NCT, like, no one, NCT is not going to disband. What the fuck? They're just going to end up with 40,000 members, but they're not going to disband. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. And speaking of SHINee, this is a trivial point. This is just an opinion that, well, really two song opinions, is that I think Good Evening is better than View. And this is about Taemin solo work, but Want is better than Move. So when I say all this about View, I think that the song View is slightly overrated. Everyone talks about it. I'm not saying it's bad or there's anything wrong with it, because it's still a really good song, but I just feel like it gets praised to Kingdom Come. Like, people just praised the death out of that song, and it's a really great song, don't get me wrong. And it has really chill vibes to it, but Good Evening also has really chill vibes, and I think I just prefer that song, honestly. I don't know why, I just kind of do. I'm not saying one is better than the other, or you're wrong if you prefer one, but I'm just saying I feel like that's kind of a dicey opinion to have, but it's just how I feel. And, like, View is not, like, one of the all-time greats or anything. Like, Sherlock, if you're gonna say Sherlock is one of the all-time greats, you're correct. You are correct. And if you're gonna, yeah, I digress. But talking about View, I just think it's a really solid song. And I don't I don't know. I just don't really think it's as, I think it's hyped up a bit too much within the fandom, because I have kind of been circling the SHINee fandom a bit. I'm kind of having to pull back a little bit because it's been kind of stressful. Again, I said my mental health isn't great right now, so that's a whole other topic I'm not going to get into right now. I kind of have to get into it a little bit because I'm going to be talking about something else that I saw. But the other opinion about Taemin's songs is that Want is better than Move. What I mean by that is that Move is a fucking fantastic song. I love the choreography. I love Taemin in it. I love that he, you know, embraced the feminine side. It's so fucking amazing. That song is amazing. That song is slick AF. I don't think Taemin can make bad songs. I think Taemin's songs are fucking fantastic. I know I've said this before and I'll say it again about his B-sides, but if you guys haven't listened to Shadow by Taemin, please fucking do that. That song is absolutely on a different level. It's so amazing. I get chills listening to it, but and yes, I'm a big Taemin fan, and I think that I prefer the song Want to Move. Move is great, but I feel like, again, it's slightly overhyped a little bit. And I'm definitely more interested in Want, which is just such a hot song, dude. I love that song to death. It's so fantastic. The song Want by Taemin is probably one of my favorite, you know, singles by him. I also really like Flame of Love. That's kind of a chill ballad. It's kind of a love song, but I actually really like that song. That song makes me feel good. I don't know why. It just gives me like good vibes. A lot of his songs can be really sad. They're either like sexy or they're sad, and there's like no in between. But Flame of Love is like a nice. It's nice. It's not. It doesn't fall into that category where it's like, you know. So I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I love the sad songs too. I'm not saying I don't, but it's just like, I don't, you know, I need something else to listen to, right? So, those are the only opinions that I'm going to get, and while I'm still on the topic of, like, SM and stuff, I'm going to get this out of the way and say this right now, that I heard today, and apparently this is old news, and this happened a while ago, but I just heard about it today, and I kind of lost my shit when I heard this, so I don't even follow NTC, okay? I'm not, or NCT, I'm sorry, I can't fucking say that, NCT, you know, the group, NCT. I don't really follow them much. I think they have some good songs. I think they're cool. I have nothing against them. And I'm not really sure. I mean, there's so many units. I mean, obviously there's Wavy. Obviously 127 is the most popular unit, and then NCT Dream, and then, like, what is Wavy? I still don't know what Wavy is. I'm still not sure what that is. I'm just confused as shit, honestly. But what I will say is that I heard something today about Taeyong from NCT, and what I heard was really upsetting. So I'm just gonna say this right now before I get into this at all, and I don't want to talk about this for too long because it just was upsetting to me to hear about it. But this is a trigger warning for, you know, bullying and suicide. So if that upsets you, don't watch this part, because honestly, I don't want to talk about this either, but it's something that made me really upset, so I'm going to talk about it. So my friend was posting something about apparently, and I don't know the full story, but apparently he was accused of bullying someone when he didn't, and some fan was accusing him of bullying. I don't know what the whole situation was, but anyway, he got a ton of hate and apparently attempted suicide, which apparently this was last year, and I did not hear about this. However, I found that extremely upsetting to hear because, well, it would be upsetting for anyone. I mean, that's just, I don't even follow NCT, but that is just insanely upsetting to hear. But also, it kind of got me thinking again about SM, and they have a big problem. SM, and people say, oh, it's in the industry or idols or whatever, it's a problem. I agree, it's a problem in the industry as a whole, but SM in particular has a big problem with suicides. And I know that's gonna sound like weird, but it's just genuinely how I feel, and it just feels like weird to me. I don't know. I'm not saying there's any foul play going on. I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, you know, Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself. You know, I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not going to be that person, because at the end of the day, you have to just, you want another explanation. I completely understand how that is. However, at the end of the day, what happened happened. However, there's clearly something going on with the conditions of the company that is pushing these idols to such extreme situations, and it's really disturbing. And when I heard about that today, about Taeyong, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, another idol? Like, we could have lost another idol. Like, I have my own beliefs, and obviously, Guhara was not under SM. She was under a different company. And I have my own beliefs about what happened to her. There's definitely some evidence there that there's definitely something about her death which is kind of fishy. I'm not going to get into that. However, with the other two situations, which is obviously Jonghyun and Sully, pretty sure that was suicide in both of those cases. And again, SM idols, and Taeyong is also under SM. So I find that to be very suspicious and just kind of creepy and disturbing. And I'm not saying it's an intentional thing. I'm not saying there's like some sort of foul play going on, but the whole thing makes me super uncomfortable. And when I heard about Taeyong, I got really upset because I was just like, not fucking again. Like, not like, how far is this going to go? Genuine question. Like, how fucking far is this going to go? And it just genuinely makes me wonder. And that's like a big thing I have to get off my chest, because it's just something that legitimately stresses me the fuck out. And it's just like, I'm not saying other idols are safe from having this stuff happen to them, and I'm not saying other companies aren't shit, but something's going on with SM that is really wrong, and the fact that it keeps happening is what's scaring me most of all. Because it's like, wouldn't you think that, like, something would have been done by now? Like, it makes me so uncomfortable, and it makes me so concerned for, honestly, all of their idols, just seeing this type of shit that is still happening. And just the fact that I heard that about Taeyong, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? He got bullied, he got harassed because of fake information that was spread online. And then he fucking, like, I'm sorry, like, just, I'm so, like, just beyond, when I hear this stuff, it's like, this stuff is still happening, and literally nothing has been done. Like, it's like, there's literally no silver lining to any of this. It's like you could think about it and be like, oh, well, maybe something will change. Maybe people will be less hateful. Maybe people will learn to not be fucking crazy. But no! People are still terrible! And this shit is still happening, and it's so disturbing, and it's so scary, and I just don't know what to do. Just the fact that this happened is scary as shit, honestly. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to something that's not as serious, because I really need to stop talking about serious topics, because this whole thing made me incredibly uncomfortable and worked up. But I'm gonna be talking about Red Velvet now, which is an SM group, so I guess it's all somewhat related. But anyway, Blackpink. Okay, so Blackpink, people say Blackpink, you know, oh, they're the best girl group, whatever. And I used to really be a huge Blackpink stan. Right now, the reason I'm not really standing them is because I think they're, the problem I have with Blackpink is that they're just not releasing anything. And that's not their fault, that's YG's fault, and I'm frustrated with the whole situation itself. But it's just, I can't stand when there's no content, I'm sorry. But the thing about Blackpink is I really love their songs, but in terms of the girls themselves, I just don't really get the same vibes from these songs as I do from Red Velvet. The rapping is good, though. And now, I want to clarify that the reason I'm saying Blackpink versus Red Velvet, I think Twice is kind of a different category, and I also don't follow them. And there are 4th-gen groups that I could talk about, but I'm talking about the 3rd-gen girl groups. Obviously, Blackpink and Red Velvet. Obviously, Mamamoo are queens, and they're in a different league. But, talking about Blackpink versus Red Velvet here. Blackpink, the singing. So one thing I will say is that Blackpink has better rapping, I think, than Red Velvet, but Red Velvet has far superior singing. And I bring this up because I'm not saying Jisoo and Rosé are bad by any means. Trust me, they're not. They sing better than I ever could. So yeah, I don't think they're bad by any fucking means. And even Jennie is decent. One more thing I will add is that Jisoo is a way more stable vocalist than Rose, and why the fuck does Rose get all the lines? I love Rose, don't get me wrong, but why the fuck does she get all the lines? But going back to what I'm saying about Blackpink, and their vocal chops just not being it. Comparatively to Red Velvet. Now keep in mind, I'm not dragging anyone, I'm just saying this is my opinion. And I think Blackpink has better rapping than Revy. Easily. Like, that was a nice note. Obviously, Whistle. Slay. I love these girls, don't get me wrong. This is probably one of the best. Blackpink are not stable whatsoever live, vocally. I'll say that right now. I just hear these songs. And I think Blackpink would have a lot more vocal potential if they were actually allowed to release music. So that would be nice. But again, I'm not saying any of these examples are bad. I want to be very clear on my stance here. That I would never say any of these are bad. Like I said, even Jennie is a good singer. If anything, I'd say she's underrated as a singer. But again, Blackpink, they're great. Like, listen to that little head voice slide there. Again, the rapping's great. And their harmonies are pretty decent. And I just have, obviously, Hope Not is a ballad. Nice harmonies as well. Okay, so the thing about Blackpink's live vocals is just, I just don't find, again, Lisa's great live. It's not terrible, like I said. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's... Why is it so nasal? Flat, but powerful. This is a good performance. Some of them are good. Again, that's just Jenny, so obviously... I don't think she's bad at all. And I'm just clarifying here. Here's Rose. It's very nasal. I'm not sure what she's doing with her voice. So, you know, it's just an example. Of, you know, they're not terrible, but they're not great, okay? And then we have Red Velvet. So, of course we have Red Velvet, we have Auto-Tune versus No, which for different groups of course, but Red Velvet specifically, hear how clear that is. And then of course there's this. Listen to the harmonies. Just listen to that. How nice that is.
Ice cream, you scream, give me that ice cream. 내가 chocolate honey, the cherry on top. 내일 다양하게 보여줄게 너에게만. 무지개 그려대는 접은 수대보다 날 사랑을 그려내는 내게 좀 더 끌릴 거야. 내 그려오다 내.
And we know SM's vocalists are amazing. We just know this. Again, the harmonies are amazing.
주세요 달콤한 그맛 아이스크림 케이크 특별해진 오늘에 어울리는 맛으로 입가에 묻은 아이스크림에 네 가슴 두근거려 내게 다가오겠죠. It's so tasty. 내가 너무 좋아해.
Listen to this.
서로를 부서지게
Listen to this. Silky smooth. Again, fantastic. Again, we get Blackpink's having good live vocals. Very nice. okay? It's just not on the same level. I'm sorry.
Talking about how not ever find men like you. You got me twisted.
Jisoo?
You must not know
No, that's
about
Rosé.
me.
That's Rosé.
You must not know about me.
But again, what is with that nasalness? I can't. So again, my point stands. They just don't, it just doesn't compare. And I bring this up because, of course, Red Velvet. And I've come to the conclusion that I think Red Velvet, I think I like them more than, you know. So here's some studio vocals for you. Just so you can hear it. And again, I do think Blackpink has better rapping than Red Velvet. Again, these girls are so talented. Wendy's falsetto here, my god! You get my point. Again, these girls are so talented, so insanely talented. Of course, we have Red Flavor, the harmonies. Ice Cream Cake is already mentioned. The song sounds so good. And of course, Really Bad Boy. These vocal runs, dude. These fucking vocal runs. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. And of course, that's twice. But my point stands, and when you think about Red Velvet, just compared to Blackpink, just Blackpink has nothing on Red Velvet vocally, and that's kind of where we're at. And it's something that I've had to realize. Now, I'm not gonna say Mamamoo isn't the best, because they fucking are, but like, Red Velvet, man, they're so fucking good. I can't. Oh my god, they're so good. The queens. They are queens, bitch. Honestly, like, I just get excited when I think about how Red Velvet's vocals, because honestly, Dum Dum even, the harmonies, and the pre-chorus. Just listen to this. Those vocal runs in the back. Fantastic. And probably the best example of anything I've ever found in my life. As much as I think this song is mediocre overall. Listen to this. The vibrato! The vibrato! In conclusion, SM vocalists hit different. So that's really one thing I have to say. And one more thing I would like to talk about is going to be BTS. I'm going to move my focus over to BTS, and I want to talk about something that is bothering me. I went on K-Profiles, and you know what? Suga is not the main rapper. He has the lead rap position and not the main rapper position, okay? I have so many questions as to how this happened. because it's just, how did we get to this point? And I'm not saying Namjoon does not deserve that position, because he fucking does. He's amazing, but like, Suga is also amazing, and they both deserve main rapper. How the fuck is Suga not a main rapper? I don't fucking understand. And J-Hope is only a sub rapper? I have that many fucking questions about, I'm saying, a serious, genuine question of, have you heard this guy rap? The genuine question, you're sitting here. And the whole thing is just a disaster. And it's like, have you heard him rap? Like, yes, you've heard RM rap. You've all heard RM rap. And, like, it's confirmed that Suga, like, raps faster than Eminem. Like, it's not even funny at this point. Why is he not the main rapper? Why is fucking J-Hope only a sub-rapper? He's fucking good, guys! What is your problem, BTS? What is wrong with the positions? Fix your fucking positions. And while we're on the topic of BTS and controversial opinions, oh god, the singing! So, I want to talk about BTS and vocals for a second. And I do not think that their vocals are bad. I want to make one thing abundantly clear. But something that I just never, and there are vocal moments from BTS that I absolutely adore. Like, all of this song, the harmonies on this song. But, you know, this is one of my favorite songs ever, so I'm going to be biased. This outro, Gemini and V. It's that good, it's so good. But, and of course DNA, the vocal part here. Taeyoung. And then this part. All of them. Hell yes. But I want to talk about Jungkook, and this is something that I've touched on before, but I think that Jungkook is an overrated vocalist. Here come the guns! Okay, but hear me out on this. I'm not a vocal coach, first of all, so anything I say is just my opinion and observation. But I kind of want to talk about Jungkook here, because Jungkook, I have this thing when I listen to Jungkook, is that he is by far, in my opinion, the most well-rounded member of BTS. He's also the most well-rounded vocalist of BTS, okay? I think overall he is the most stable and well-rounded vocalist of BTS. That's not a question. However, his high notes, Jungkook's highs, Jungkook's strained, belted high notes, and this is something I really want to talk about. I think there's a good example in Dope. So just listen for a minute. I'm sorry, hear it again. It sounds so strained, it sounds so forced, it sounds like he's forcing his lungs through his nose. It's belted, it's powerful, but it's so strained, it's so tense, it's so tight. The notes, something about this, and the most glaring example is Anon, and I'm sorry to break it to you. Because he sounds like he's in pain. He sounds like he's in pain, that's all I can say. This belted note just sounds so strained. I think this part's nice. This like falsetto bit here. But then the belt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying he can't sing by any fucking means. It's a nice head voice there. When he takes a more restrained approach, it works. This is perfect. I would never say that he can't sing. That doesn't sound strange to me. That's beautiful. It's not strained, it's not forced. Again, perfection. Great example. Also another great example is Boy in Love. Another example of one that lands. So, I'm not going to say he's bad by any means. In other words, I think he's quite good. However, he's not one of the best in the industry, and I just kind of have to put it out there simply. Plain and simple. And when I say this, of course I'm talking about EXO, because of course I fucking am. And of course I'm talking about Chen. This is what you call the best in the industry. And yes, okay, at the time he wasn't, but whatever. It's so good. And then you have that, and you're putting this type of thing against that. I guess I'm aware when Monster was released that Chen wasn't the best in the industry, but I'm pretty sure he is now, so it's so strained! Again, Chen sounds so fucking effortless when he's hitting these notes. Another great example I always like to point to is Obsession, because that song, dude, best in the industry, full stop. Currently. But just listen to this again.
Say what you like.
And then you hear On in comparison, and it's just not it. I just want to say to all the armies that keep praising this bridge to oblivion, think about what you're doing. Think about what you guys are doing. No, this ain't it. I'm so freaking sorry. The song is good. The reason I bring all this up is because armies who say EXO isn't talented and EXO-Ls who say BTS isn't talented. BTS has has a better rap line than EXO 5,000%. But yes, Chen is the best vocalist in the industry right now. Just Chen. Good luck with your child, boy. I love you. What the fuck am I doing with my life? So yeah. I'm going to now play some clips that I think kind of prove a point. I want to say something that obviously the other members are underrated as shit compared to Jungkook. Jungkook gets all the attention vocally. Why does no one talk about the other members? Like, it's something that I actually have questions about, like, genuinely. And I sit down, and like Jen has improved so fucking much. He has such a nice voice. Such a nice falsetto. Just And of course Taehyung. Do I even need to talk about Taehyung being amazing? Just do I even need to talk about him having this tone? But one thing I want to say, and I'm going to make a claim right now and back it up the best I can. The claim I'm going to make, hear me out, that Jimin has a better head voice and more stable high notes than Jungkook. That is my opinion, and I can't back this up definitively, but Jimin's voice is amazing. He's the best in the industry or anything, and I'm not even saying overall I think Jungkook is a way more stable vocalist than Jimin, but Jimin's highs are so good. He has such a nice voice. His voice is way headier, and I like that about him. He sounds really, like, relaxed, I guess. That's what I'm looking for. Like, he has a heady voice, and it sounds really fucking good. Because of freaking course it does. There's so many examples of Jimin being... There's so many examples of Jimin being amazing. Like, I can't. Like, they're just all so fucking good. Every example you can think of. That's sped up. I want a slower one. We're together. I want one of Jimin. Yeah, there. That. Go back. That. And there's another example that I always think of, which of course is Lie, because that song, damn, that song is so just the singing on this song. Of course. And this is a bell. This is a mid bell. My heart. I'm sorry, that sounds way better than Jungkook singing. Again, just amazing. Amazing. Talented as shit. You get my fucking point. Song Danger. Jen actually got lines to the song. That's great. Just listen to this. Jungkook doing some of the highs here too. They all sound great on this. They all sound fucking great. They all sound fucking great. And I'll say this right now. I think I prefer Jimin's highs. Jimin's voice, he sounds way more relaxed. He can handle the notes more. He sounds way more comfortable in his high register than Jungkook ever has. And that's full stop. And that is my opinion, end of. That's what I think about Jimin. And not saying he's overall better or more well-rounded than Jungkook, but in terms of his highs, just, it's not even comparable. I mean, I just don't have the same vibe. Now, one other thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about Blackpink again. Okay, but for real, hear me out. Blackpink's line distributions are commonly thought of to be terrible. And I just don't see it. Here's my opinion. Alright. Alright, hear me out. Okay, so Kill This Love. So what is the distribution? Okay, well, Jisoo gets 26 seconds, Jennie gets 35 seconds, Rose gets 35 seconds, and Lisa gets 28. So that's, you know, decent. Jisoo could maybe use it for a few more lines, but it's not the end of the world, right? What about Whistle? It's sped up. Okay, what about it, huh? We got 30, I'm trying to see it. 33.3% Jennie, 23% Lisa, 21% Jisoo, 21% Rose. So yeah, pretty Jennie favor, but not terrible, right? This is definitely far from the worst line distributions I've ever seen in my life. That's very sped up. But what about Do-Do-Do-Do? Do-Do-Do-Do has 29% Rose, 26% Jennie, 24% Jisoo, 16% Lisa. Not terrible, as I mentioned. Technically, it should be 25% for each member. Now, I'm not saying every member should get equal time. On a song like Stay, the line distribution is kind of shitty because it's a ballad. It's gonna favor certain members over others. That's why Rose gets so many lines in this song, as opposed to Lisa. That's why Rose gets 36%. And I bring all this up because people talk like Blackpink's line distribution is like the worst thing ever, which it really isn't. I don't understand why y'all think this, but what are you guys on? What are you guys on? What are you guys on to think that? If you think their line distribution is the worst, Kick It is extremely fair. They're 25.7, 25.1, 24.9, 24.3. Kick It is extremely fucking fair. What about Playing with Fire? Let's hear this. Okay, not 100% fair, but 28, 28, 25, 17. Okay, Jisoo got the least lines here, which she should have had more lines, but you get the point. Why the fuck is there a line distribution of Jennie? That's what I really need to know. It's just Jennie, obviously. I just think that's funny that this exists. What about See You Later? What about this song? Not great. This one's not great. This is 40% Jennie, 23% Lisa, 21 Rose, 14 point Jisoo. I think this is the worst one I've seen for them. However, what about Forever Young? It's funny to hear it sped up. Okay, this one ain't great either. Jisoo only got 19 seconds, which means Jisoo only got 10%. Jennie got 34%, Lisa got 29, and Rose got 26. Okay, so not the best, but far from the worst. I really want to know how the fuck they think this is the worst line distribution. Because Everglow right now is by far has the worst line distribution in the industry. Dun Dun. Let's hear Dun Dun.
terrible with the exception of Mia. What I mean by this is EU gets 15 seconds, Siyeon gets 20, Anda gets 22, Aisha gets 16, Yurin gets 24. Okay, that's not terrible. And then Mia gets over a minute, I think. She gets, I don't know what 4 out of 6, I don't know what that means. 10, 12, 17, 25. She gets 46 seconds. She gets 46 seconds, okay, compared to everyone else. They all get 20, which is, she gets over twice as much. Okay, bon much of that. What about this one? Okay, so Mia gets about a minute of line time. She gets 58 seconds. Okay, and by the way, I want to clear this up before I go anything. I am not hating on Mia whatsoever. I'm not saying it's her fault that she gets the lines. No one should send hate to Mia for this. I'm just making a point here. She gets 58 seconds. Siyeon gets 49. EU gets 24. Anda gets 24. Yurin gets 18. And Aisha gets 9 seconds. What the fuck? Okay, what about Adios? Again, not terrible if it wasn't for Mia. And here we have it. Mia getting 32%. Yurin gets 16%. So Mia gets over twice as much as anyone else does. Okay. Anda gets 15. Aisha gets 13. Siyeon gets 13%. And EU gets 9%. Okay. And when you actually tally it up, the line distribution is just bad. It's just bad. And, what about some of their songs like No Lie, some of their B-sides, this song? Mia literally gets 2 minutes on this song. Siyeon gets 1 minute. Aisha gets 13 seconds. EU gets 9 seconds. Yurin gets 3 seconds. Anda gets 3 seconds. Yeah, I think that's pretty fucked. This is like the worst line distribution I've ever seen. Just generally speaking, their line distributions are complete garbage. Salute. Again, Siyeon with 57, Mia with 36, Yurin 26, Aisha 16, EU 9, Anda 4. 4 fucking seconds. And I know old BTS songs have problems with that too, with Jen and all, and I get that, but come on, people. How the fuck does Blackpink have the worst line distribution? But it's worse. It gets worse. Because y'all remember 21? Yeah. Under the same company as Blackpink, might I add. Remember their signature song, I'm the Best? Okay, so, yeah, CL gets a minute 41 and Bomb gets 30 seconds. I think there's something wrong with that. I point this out, just because, again, there's a problem here. What about Falling in Love? What about this song? This one's a bit better. This one isn't horrible. And Bomb gets the most, with over a minute, but we still have Bomb getting twice as much time as Dara does. Okay. Again, my question to you guys is, how the fuck does Blackpink have the worst line distribution? Okay, the song Crush. CL gets 52% of the song, giving Minzy 16%, Bomb 15%, and Dara 14%. I'm sorry, but what the fuck? What about Fire? What about their debut song, Fire? Even back then it was fucked. Because CL got 43%, Bomb got 23%, Dara got 18%, and Minzy got 15%. What about Come Back Home? fact that CL gets over a minute, Minzy gets 43, Dara gets 45, and Bomb gets 30. Again, pretty equal with the exception of CL. I bring this up because Blackpink's line distribution is nothing in comparison. I don't even understand the complaints here. There's nothing, comparatively to all those other songs, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Blackpink's distribution. I don't understand the fucking problem y'all have. Like, just, Blackpink's distribution is nothing compared to 21's was. Imagine if Blackpink's distribution had Jennie getting twice as many lines as everyone, all of Lisa's rap parts being given to Jennie, Rosé getting half as many lines as Jennie, despite being the main vocalist, and Jisoo hardly getting any lines. Imagine that, and you have 21. It's, as much as I hate how YG's handling Blackpink, I'll give them credit for one thing. Not making the line distribution shit. So yeah, at the end of the day, Blackpink's line distributions ain't that bad. Ain't bad. Everglow's are shit. I already mentioned it. Of course they fucking are. Of course they fucking are. And again, I have a problem with how they're being managed in that case. I have nothing against Mia or Sian. Okay? Just want to be very clear on that. And the last thing I want to talk about is what's been going on with, Seungri, of course. Nothing new going on with Seungri, but, of course, Big Bang and G-Dragon going out here and putting artwork of all 5 members in his house, okay? And I'll talk about this because my opinion on Seungri, I'm going to keep it short because I could go on about it for a long time. I do not like Seungri. I could go on a whole rant about Seungri, but I think I'm going to do that on a different video because this is going to take way too fucking long. However, I don't know if he's necessarily a criminal. You can't, if there's nothing that can be proven, that doesn't mean he didn't know what was going on and didn't say anything. You can't prove it, so maybe he's just a scummy human being and not actually a criminal, but okay. I don't like him. And I could go on a whole other rant about this, but I bring it up because G-Dragon put artwork of the 5 members in his house, his new house. G-Dragon bought a house and put artwork of the 5 members in his house, and I got really fucking pissed. And then I had to, step back and kind of, think about it, and I was kind of like, okay, first of all, he knows more than I do. Second of all, there's no reason to, just I don't think it's much to get pissed over. I think people need to calm down. If you don't want to support the comeback, that's fine, but please don't, yell. Please don't yell, about it on social media. I wanted to talk more about this, but this video is over an hour long, so I might make a separate video about my actual thoughts on the whole situation. Not about G-Dragon's house. I could care less about G-Dragon's house. Except I want it. But no, I want everything G-Dragon has, so there's that. But I digress. Anyway, that's about all. My brain is about to explode from all this video making, so I'm gonna go now, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!